Hello, my good friends. Welcome to the Wicked Bitter channel. I'm Travis. Thank you for checking out this video. If you like WWE content, you like wrestling content, this is the place for you. Subscribe and like this video for more WWE content, if that's your thing. All right, my friends, the streets are talking. The streets are talking. And what I'm talking about is John Cena. He's got only a few days left. It's pretty wild to think that that this is it, man. Like, this is it. Anybody who is old enough, who has watched his entire career from the minute he stepped through the SmackDown curtain and answered Kurt Angle's challenge all those years ago, I believe it was 2002, and you stayed for the ride all the way up till right now, it is pretty crazy. It's crazy how fast time just goes. I remember watching him come out that day in 2002. I remember that. And I remember him being a nobody to me. I was like, who is this guy? And I was a big Kurt Angle fan. I'm like, who is this guy getting in Kurt Angle's face? And just crazy how fast things just take off, you know? Man. Anyway, his whole career is done. This is it. He's down to the last few days. And I think a lot of things that people have been talking about is who are the final opponents that John Cena will be facing. Of course, we just got news. Last time we spoke, this hasn't been the news yet, but now it is. AJ Styles will be facing John Cena in was it Crown Jewel? I always get it mixed up. But yeah, the next coming PLE, pay-per-view, whatever, John Cena will be facing AJ Styles. I'm very happy about that. I think a lot of fans wanted it. And honestly, I mentioned this yesterday when I was on a podcast yesterday, which I'm going to shout out here in a few minutes. But I mentioned it yesterday where I feel like that especially towards the end of John Cena's feud here, or even maybe at least when he turned back into a babyface, I feel like this all wasn't planned. Like, I think some of it was. I think the original plan wasn't working, so I think they've gone a separate way or a different way, and now they're just trying to think of, like, okay, who do you want to face, John? Or, you know, to wrap up your career, who do we got? Who do you want to face? I kind of feel like that's the way that this is going, because I don't know, if you watched, like, when John Cena first initially announced that he was retiring last year, he you know, after that show was over, Triple H and John Cena both mentioned that, you know, John Cena's last year has been planned out for the whole year. The whole thing was planned out. And if you watch the Unreal documentary on Netflix, there was a moment there in one of the episodes where Triple H was talking to John Cena, and they were talking about this, saying, hey, we got this whole thing planned out. You know, it's hopefully it's going to be great. And John Cena says it's going to have to be really bad for us to F this up. And I think the heel turn kind of was that bad. I think it did get effed up. I think that's where it went bad. And since then, I feel like WWE's kind of just been like flying, freestyling here. Like, who do we got? Who can you face? Who do you want to face kind of thing. But either way, we get no build for the AJ and John Cena match, which we don't need. I'm happy. We got AJ Styles versus John Cena. I think a lot of fans wanted this match, so I'm glad to see that. However, the last few days, I don't know if it's 4 or 5 at this point, 4 days left or 5 days left, I can't remember. But a lot of people are thinking about who can they be? Who will his opponents be for all the 4 and all the 5? And I'm thinking, I don't know if John Cena is going to have 4 or 5 opponents. Because remember, he's got 4 dates left, not 4 matches. 4 dates. That includes a show where he hypes up the upcoming match. So if he's got 5 days, I would think that he's going to have maybe 2 opponents, maybe 3. And if he's got 4 days, I would think at most it's 2 opponents. So maybe he's got a final 2 opponents after AJ Styles. Yeah, I don't know. Unless they kind of go the same route that they're doing here with AJ Styles, where you don't get a build. You just get told, hey, Cena will be here, and he's going to be facing this guy. Which I'm okay with. And honestly, I said this yesterday. When John Cena mentioned that he had 32 dates that he was going to wrestle throughout the year of this year, if WWE just told us, here are 32 opponents, or here are 25 opponents for the whole year for John Cena, I would have been okay with that. I don't need the build for John Cena. I don't. It's his last year. We all know what's going on here. We all know the deal. He's wrestling these matches, not too many high stakes to them, except for when he went for that the 17th record-breaking championship reign. Other than that, there really isn't anything that needs a story with John Cena's last year. You literally could have just been like, hey, Cena's facing this guy here, and then he's going to face this guy here, and then he's going to face this guy here. And I think me, at least, I know a lot of people probably felt the same way. I would have been happy with that because there are plenty of people in WWE right now that I would have loved to see John Cena go up against that we probably aren't going to see, to be honest with you. His last two opponents, I don't think it's going to be spent on... like a Grayson Waller or like a Carmelo Hayes. I don't think those types of guys are gonna get that kind of match. I think it's gonna be kind of big name guys. It's his last two matches, last 2-3 matches, whatever it may be, unless it's gonna be the 4 or 5. And even if it is the 4 or the 5, I still don't think it's gonna be those types of names. So a lot of people want to criticize the heel turn. People want to criticize the builds, the feuds, the matchups he's had all year. People think he wasted a match with Brock Lesnar. The way I see it, that was a big rival for John Cena for his career. It was. And I think their record was 2-2. Now you have a definitive winner of that record. It would have been a little bit of a bummer if Cena retired and if you wanted to go back and talk about him and Lesnar, their record just stayed at 2-2. I kind of would like a winner out of that. Like, let me get the actual who gets on top, who gets the top. And to be honest, I had picked John Cena to beat Brock Lesnar. But when I look back on it in hindsight, it kind of makes more sense for Lesnar to win that match, because Cena's retiring. He's done. Brock is still going to be here. He's staying. So why wouldn't you have people who already feel a little iffy on Brock now, like with the heat he's got? A lot of people are upset with Brock. A lot of people have different feelings towards him now because of things that's happened. Why not capitalize on it? Why not jump on that? Why not do things that's going to make people mad if you're Brock Lesnar? WWE has a big top heel problem right now. They don't have top heels. Logan Paul is the top heel right now. Who else? Seth Rollins. Other than that, who do you got? Drew McIntyre. Other than that, who do you have? You don't have nobody. You don't have anybody. You throw Brock Lesnar in there. That's the top heel right there. That guy can run any show. And you're going to get everybody hating this guy. This is why I've mentioned that I think Brock Lesnar will end up beating Cody Rhodes for that championship, because now that they're on ESPN has connections to UFC. Hey, you remember Brock Lesnar used to be a UFC champion? Well, now he's in WWE again, and he's WWE champion again. Check him out. Watch this pay-per-view. See if he will lose this title. It's all about attracting new audiences, and I don't think this new deal with ESPN is more for the hardcore fan. I think it's for the casual, the person who they're trying to get into wrestling so that they can grow their audience. In a way, it's smart, but it's also very frustrating if you're a hardcore fan because you have to sit here and put up with it. But in any case, John Cena's last opponents. If he's got 2 or 3 matches left, who does he go against? Something that happened, and I know we don't really talk about AEW that much here. AEW on Wednesday night Dynamite this week, Edge or Adam Copeland went to go talk to Christian. He said that, hey, I can't do this anymore. My family needs me. Something along those lines. He said, I'm going to go away, and I don't know if I'm ever coming back to AEW. And I was recording a podcast, which, let me just get it out of the way now. I'm going to shout him out. Shout out to the Executive View. It's a great podcast. It's a great YouTube channel. Please go check them out. They're also trying to grow an audience and form a community just like I am, and they are great people, fantastic people. I've been on their show now for, I think, 3 or 4 times, and each time has been better than the last that I was on it. I did a show with them yesterday, and I think it was supposed to be like an hour long. This almost went 2 hours, and it was because we all have a lot to talk about, and I love having those kind of conversations with wrestling fans, people who are passionate about wrestling that can go on, and we can talk for hours, and even us stopping around 2 hours, we cut it short because we could have gone 3 or 4, I'm sure of it. Anytime that somebody brought up, all right, we got to wrap it up, let's get out of here, someone else said something, and then it added on a whole nother like 10, 15 minutes of conversation. I love that. So please go check out the Executive View on Instagram or on their socials. Check them out on YouTube. Subscribe to their channel. They have great stuff. They talk about wrestling, but they also have shows where they talk about just other sports, which I don't know if you like that or if you just want wrestling, but if you just want wrestling, they still do that there too. So definitely check out the Executive View and shout out to them for welcoming me in. And I feel like going forward, I'm going to be doing more with them a lot more than I anticipated, which is great, and I love that. So I can't wait to be a bigger part of their show or a part of their show, and I'm happy that they have allowed me to come on there and do that with them. It's a very good time. Now, sorry, let's talk about the opponents. I know that's what we were trying to talk about in the first place. John Cena, his last opponents here. I mentioned the whole Edge or Adam Copeland and AEW thing. I don't know if that's part of their story. I don't know if Edge is going away to do something, film something, just needs time off. Like, I don't think Edge wants to be there every single week. I don't know if he's supposed to be there like a full-time guy. I know he performs often, which is great, but maybe this is just their version of like giving Roman a break for a month or two. You know what I mean? Like, that could be the same thing with that. Because he said it on camera. He said it on TV. Usually when something like this happens in pro wrestling, the wrestler doesn't just go on TV and say, hey, I'm going away and I don't know if I'm coming back, unless it's part of a story. That being said, if it's not part of a story, 100,000%, I want Edge to be John Cena's final opponent. I don't care. I don't care if it's Saturday Night's Main Event. I don't care if it's on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown. You could put it on NXT. You could bring back Velocity, Sunday Night Heat. I don't care what show it is. I would just love for it to be Edge and John Cena one more time. And I've been saying that since the get-go. I don't know if it was possible to happen, but after seeing that on Wednesday, it gave me hope. And I don't know if it's false hope. I've heard things that Edge's contract ends in 2026. I've heard things that it ends in a week from now. I don't know what the actual contractual obligations are for Edge right now. I don't know if he still is with AEW. I don't know if his contract is coming up to an end. I don't know if WWE bought out the rest of his contract so he can face John Cena. Whatever it may be, I have that little slither of hope that Edge will be John Cena's final opponent. Other than that, I would love to see Dominic Mysterio versus John Cena. A lot of people bringing up the IC title. John Cena's never won it. It'd be a kind of a cool story, but my thing is, if I'm going to have Dom versus Cena for the IC championship, I think I'm going to go with Dom on that one. Like, how crazy would that be for Dominic Mysterio to beat John Cena? A man that has a lot of history with Dominic's father. Like, there are layers here. There is a story to be told here. John Cena versus Dominic would be great for the IC title. That's a big match, for both of them and for the fans. I would be happy if Dominic Mysterio won that match, though, but I can understand the backlash that it would get because a lot of people are going to be upset. I don't think Cena faces Brock again. I see. We've all seen the negative feedback since that last match. I don't think it makes sense to have Cena face Brock just so Cena can win, and then you got it tied back up 3-3. I just think that's over with. That's done. Yes, we have to accept it. Brock Lesnar destroyed John Cena in their final match. That's just what it is. So I don't think Brock's there. I would love to see Dom. I would love to see Braun Breaker, and I think there is a possibility that happens. But I think it happens in War Games. I think John Cena will be in a War Games match against Seth Rollins' team. Now, I don't know who John Cena's team would be, but Seth Rollins' team, I would imagine, would be Seth, the Vision, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker. I could see maybe a LA Knight in there somehow, like a heelish LA Knight, or like a Jey Uso maybe. I could see Brock Lesnar in there. I think some sort of combination like that will be in there. Or maybe even Drew McIntyre from SmackDown can be in there. And then over on the other team, John Cena, I feel like would be in there. Maybe Punk, maybe Cody Rhodes will be in there. The Usos might be in there. Roman Reigns might be in there. I don't know. I think that's what we're heading for. I just feel like Cena's going to be in War Games match, and this could also lead to multiple things. Brock can face Cody because they'll interact in that War Games match. So I don't know. I think Cena will be in there, but Cena could also get in the ring with people that he normally wouldn't during this run. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker. It'd be cool to see him face them. So I'm saying Dominic Mysterio for sure, and I would love to see Edge be the final opponent for John Cena, but I worry that the People's Champ, The Rock, might have something to say about it. I think The Rock will try to find a way into the spotlight here and get one more match with John Cena, and if he doesn't, I'll be happy, but I just got a feeling that The Rock will be in this somehow. All right, my friends, I appreciate you checking out this video. Please like this video. If you enjoy WWE content, please subscribe to this channel if you want to see more WWE content. I got you. I'm posting it every single week. Yeah, I hope you all have a good rest of your week. We'll be back with another video in a couple of days, I want to say. It's, yeah, I've got one in the works I want to get working on. I was going to do it in this video, but this one, John Cena stuff, just kind of took over the whole thing. So we'll be back with another video soon. And until we meet again, my friends, as always, stay bitter.